Welcome back to Kurri Sports Ground. Weather-wise, it's a miserable afternoon, but rugby league-wise, it's magnificent. And as I said at the top, where else would you rather be? But the score at half-time is Central 18, Kurri 6. And a pretty even contest for most of it. 6-all up until 5 minutes before the half, but Central just got a couple of tries there at the end. Kurri might have got a bit weary, I think, and made life a bit hard for themselves with a few mistakes. But there's still plenty to go in this game, and with the old boys over there on this big day in Kurri, I just hope that they're able to stay interested in the match and don't turn around to see what's happening at the 6th at Flemington. They've got the Sky Channel over there, you know, Matt.
Oh, do they?
It's quite an operation. I can see it from here. They've got the Sky Racing on, so they can have a bit of a punt on the phone tab and watch the footy at the same time. But what did you make of the first half?
I think Kurri were unlucky to get those 2 tries in the last 10 minutes against them. They've really matched up in this game. I'm really happy with how they're playing. They just need to show a bit more composure with the ball down in the opposition 40.
See, in the interest of full disclosure, you're a Kurri man, aren't you? So
yes, I am.
Yeah. See, I'm a Cessnock man, so I'm rather agnostic about all of this. But
it's quite interesting how we've been able to stand in the same room together.
It's a wonder. Yeah, we're going okay so far. But in any case, the news from the other grounds, of course, is that South are in front of Maitland 12-4, and Macquarie lead West 14-0. So if it stayed like that, Maitland would still be 2 points behind Central. In fact, they'd be 4 points behind if Central win today.
Now, that's not too surprising. Macquarie have some big boppers in their team, and if they get a roll on, they can really cause some damage in this final series.
Well, as the kick-off and Central are working the ball away, but what that would all mean is that Maitland, the final 5 would be finished if it stays like this, because if Maitland lose and Central win, Maitland won't be able to catch anyone, with Central having the bye this week. So that'll be your 5. It'll be West, Macquarie, South, Central and Cessnock. And here we go with Mitch Cook, who made a bit of an impact in the first half, and he's just had a bit of an impact made on him by the 12 and 13 there, Toeva, and the lock there for Kurri. As the kick goes downfield, and Tanner's going to chase it.
Bit of backspin on that
There
ball.
is a bit. The kicks have been good. They've made Tanner run back every time. They've turned Kurri around, and they've got a big pack of forwards, and that makes life very difficult for them. And I don't know if Kurri have necessarily done the same thing all the time to the Central forwards. Here's Lachlan Hill, and he was met very ferociously there by Nathan Dwyer and Chris Marlborough as Kurri come away. And it's the wingers and the fullback doing all the work here. Lachlan Shippard has it, and he's up to the 20. Now we might get a forward for Kurri here as Wyborn picks it up. Oh, there's someone in the ruck there. Now, what's he going to give? Yeah, it's a penalty.
He's milked that penalty there. That was smart play from Wyborn.
Yeah, he was. I think it was Dwyer lying in the ruck there. It might have been Baker lying in the ruck, and Wyborn just very innocently threw the ball straight into him and drew the penalty. So that was crafty work.
They'll enjoy this.
Yeah, it was good. This is sort of you want a dummy half who's a bit street smart like that, don't you? And that's a very good run from Clinton Toeva.
Are you having to dig at Kurri people there with that street smart comment?
No, not a bit, no. But Toeva hasn't looked out of place in first grade, has he?
No, he's shaped up really well, and he's had a great season in reserve grade. Unlucky they've copped some heavy losses this year.
They have. Here's Cody Brooks. He's been copping some heavy tackles. He's been running very hard today. Put in a great effort, and away it comes now to Stevens. He's got Simon Craig for company, but he doesn't use him. He goes himself. And they're down the short side now with Wyborn. Cullen's about 10 metres to his right looking for the pass, and he gets it, and he's going to try and put something together here. Oh, there's a ball to Campton. He's got a bit of work. Gets the flick pass away. Oh, he couldn't hold on to it. Blake Birch, he couldn't hold on to it. That was good football. It opened up for Campton. He got it out the back, and Birch just got the fumbles and tried to catch it behind himself.
Yeah, he was just unlucky there. They can't get too hard on themselves early, Kurri. Otherwise, the heads will drop and they won't be interested in this competition.
The pass might just have been a little bit high, I think, but it looked beautiful for a moment there.
Shades of the ad-lib footy that got them straight to the grand final last year.
Exactly right. Well, that's exactly right. They played last year like anything. They could do anything because there'd be some of the offloads and inside passes, and they were wonderful to watch.
Winning 7 out of 9 games to qualify for the finals.
Right. They're more playing the role of spoiler this season as we come into the semis, but and that's a penalty for a strip. Simon Craig, he was very keen to get involved in a wrestle there. You could almost say it was a Mortal Kombat, Matt.
Enough of
as
that
Kurri
one.
take the kick. And so Central have it. And there's Marlborough. And Baker up to the 40. A lot of chat from the Kurri defensive line, a lot of chat from Shannon Tanner as well. This is Nathan Dwyer up over halfway. Another tackle made by Jay Stevens. He's racked up a few today. They're going to look for another forward here. Copeland ran the decoy. Marlborough out the back. Taylor. Oh, it's put down. And it's picked up there by Toeva, who's away. He's up over the 30. He's away from him again. He's got Bowen for company. And he gets within 10 metres. Now they've got them scattered out to the right and the left. It's going to be Wyborn. Out to the right. Who's that? That's Bennett. Bennett steps. He's dragged down in a good tackle. It comes out the back. It's a knock-on. Momentum killer, that one.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there. They really looked like they had the wood on him.
It's unfortunate for the referee, too, because he's copping just an absolute volley of invective from the former Kurri players in the shed over there. But
it looks like we've got a Kurri player down here, too.
Yeah, it looks like it might be Mick Campton. No, it's Toeva, the man who made the run. He's up. He's all right. But he busted it, picked it up off the ground, charged upfield, got within 10 metres, and then they just couldn't quite work it from there.
Might have just landed awkwardly on that knee. He seems to be clutching that.
Yeah, he does. He's up. He's all right. Into the scrum. So that was the second chance they've had here early on. That's just going to tick over the 5-minute mark in the second half here.
Kurri can play spoiler to Central's final hopes today with a win.
Yep.
Maitland with a superior for and against. They can really do some damage if Maitland get the victory.
That's exactly right, but there's no sign that Kurri are trying to make life more difficult for Maitland or anything like that. They're really putting in today, just not having a great deal of luck with a couple of passes. And away comes
big tackle.
Copeland, who got upended. Who was that underneath there? It might have been Ben Wyborn. No, it was Bennett, in fact, who just took him on. And these bench forwards for Central, they've been doing a lot of work. Baker, Dwyer and Copeland have all been on the field for about half an hour. And now here's a man who we haven't seen for a while. That's the number 10. That's Rowan Kelly. Did some good stuff early on, and he's just come back out there. And that might mean that French is coming back as well as they come this side. And there's Marlborough. Looked for the pass out the back. Couldn't get it away.
Good tackle there by Gudgeon.
It was a good tackle. There's Taylor off ahead. Oh, it's a Falcon. Well, there's always one, isn't there? And here's Tanner coming away. It wasn't quite of the Justin Horro level, that Falcon, but it wasn't bad. It was maybe a quarter-finalist.
Or the Martin Tapau Falcon. The Falcon.
I think Matt Utai is my favourite ever against the Gold Coast for the Tigers a couple of years ago. It was marvellous. He was looking up at the ball, and then it hit him on the head. He didn't do anything about it. As here come Kurri away, and Shippard up to the 30. He's just steamrolled over Mitch Cook there.
Yeah, he just made mincemeat of him.
He did, just bowled him over. It was a great effort. Winger on a forward. And here's Brooks. He's been on the field for most of the game. He had a little bit of a rest early in the first half. Cullen looking to put something on here. Here's Simon Craig. That's where he wants to get the ball nice and early to run onto them. But he was handled very comfortably there by Josh Allison. Marlborough was involved as well. Back to Cullen for the kick. He steps. He doesn't want to kick.
He's taking it himself.
He gives it to Wyborn, who can't handle it. He was a bit too close there. He was a bit too close to catch it. Got the fumbles. Even if he'd caught it, I think he might have been under a fair bit of pressure. So that's the third
it was a bit
time.
Interesting to go the short side there. It was a lot of traffic, very bunched.
I think they forced him into it there because they hurried up on Cullen, who is always looking to do something a bit different. And they invited him to run and left a bit of gap for him, but didn't quite come off.
It's interesting to see Kurri haven't really put up the high ball today in the rain. That haven't really wanted to make life difficult for the fullbacks.
No, you're right there. Nathan Taylor's put a few kicks up for Tanner. He's had to field a couple of difficult ones, whereas I don't think Central's fullbacks had to field a bomb yet.
Just not being challenged.
No, that's right, especially when you consider that Ryan Walker's not the usual fullback. So he's gone back from 5'8" to fullback and hasn't yet been tested. Now that is a bit of a test there for Kaylee Bowen because he's been swung around and drove into the ground there. But here comes the big 10, Rowan Kelly. Seems to be a bit of a leader in the forwards. And the 17 is Copeland. He looks out the back. Oh, a bit of Canterbury Bulldog stuff here with passes from the forwards. Oh, that's a solid tackle on Underwood. And they're going to say it was a bit high. I think that's a bit harsh. Oh, here we go. Look out. I think it was more around the shoulders than the head, but maybe by the rules it was high. Underwood out there. There was Copeland pushing the ball out the back to Marlborough. There's a Newcastle Knights luminary out there. Dan Tolar running the water for Central.
Oh, there
Just
is
as
too,
an aside,
yes.
he was a great toiler for the Knights for a few years there in the mid-2000s.
I noticed him lining...
Now, we've got a bit of back chat here, and the referee's going to pull it up. And he's going to invite Simon Craig over for a fireside chat here with company from Mick Campton. He's marched them 10 metres. Now he's going to warn Craig about the... yeah, he's warned him about the high tackle and maybe warned him for gobbing off as well.
That was a bit unnecessary there from Curry.
Well,
they didn't
these
need
sort
that.
of things that... 10 easy metres, isn't it? And so Baker, with the usual vim and vigour, charges up. Marlborough. Taylor.
Oh, the short
There's
ball.
Walker. He'll
and
score.
He's strolled through.
He's sliced through
and
again.
he's coming around
Great
now.
ball from Taylor. Central love it. They know their season's back on track. They know they're still alive here. And in fact, if they go on and win this game and Maitland stay the way they are, they might be better than still alive. But that was a great ball from Taylor. The defence opened up. It's happened a few times for both sides today. And Walker, well, he went through untouched.
They're not doing their final chances any damage today.
No, not a bit. And you can see what it means to them. They were jumping about and hooping and carrying on when he sliced through before he'd even put the ball down. They're right on this today, Central, but you look at the difference. Curry had 3 little openings before that to put a try on and bring the deficit back to 6. And as soon as Central got up the other end, they've put the deficit out to 16 and possibly 18.
Yeah, there really was a easy try there. They just strolled through off the back of a couple of silly penalties. You know, that's what a good team can do to you if you give them the opportunity to just walk into your half.
Well, if you want to be making the finals, you've got to take those chances, don't you? But I mean, Walker has looked dangerous enough when faced with defenders. He's been stepping past them and fending and beating them in the tackle, but he didn't need to there. He just needed to be able to run in a straight line. Now, here's Marlborough. He's going to take the kick. Curry still don't seem to be getting too argumentative back there. And
I
there's
don't think too many people will be arguing.
24-6. 10 minutes gone in the second half. So Marlborough converts. And back come Curry. Heads haven't dropped just yet, I don't think. But the forwards need to really pick it up here. And give the halves something to work with. Haven't had a great deal of that so far. Now there's a kick over to I think Taylor, who gives it back to the Big Ten, Rowan Kelly. And every time he's taken it up, he had about a half an hour where he wasn't on the field, but every time he's taken it up, he's made plenty of ground, as has this bloke, Matt Baker. He's had a great game. Baker, Copeland and Dwyer. They're not in the first team yet, but they will. They're not in the first 13 yet, but they will be. And that's Mitch Cook who takes it up. He's a little bit more slight. Now that is a high tackle.
And that was a deserving penalty from Curry.
Yeah,
a bit high there from Gudgeon.
Yeah, Kurt Gudgeon. I don't think you could argue with that one. There might have been a bit of a question over the Simon Craig one over here, over on the near side, but that one was a bit of an old-fashioned coat hanger.
Yeah, a bit of a bludgeon there from Gudgeon.
Very good. Now, see,
yes,
that's genius. But in any case, Central have got a chance now, and they can drag this one out. They can push the lead out here as it comes away to Taylor and Marlborough. Marlborough's been good. He's been a bit of a conduit between the forwards and the backs.
And a strong touch
that
from
was
Cullen.
A strong tackle there on Underwood, and up goes Stevens. He loses the ball. They'll have to call double knock on here, you would think. Oh, hang on. Well, let's just see. He seemed to only motion one way there. I don't think he's given. Yeah, he's given Curry the feed. That's common sense. It was a solid hit.
It looked for a moment he was going to say that the advantage was played, but it certainly didn't look like it from up here.
Well, that would have been the surest way to cause a riot if you start making decisions like that. It was all right. It was a dead set knock on, and Curry will have the feed.
Good sense from the men in pink.
It might have been a chance if it had been one of the backs who'd latched onto that. They might have been able to run away. Absolutely farcical scrum there. I mean, this is modern rugby league. You know, the scrum is... It's a bit of a formality now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a 12-person hug, but, you know...
Especially when you get feeds like that. Dear, oh dear. Simon Craig brings it away. And now here's Hayden Jeans. He's been very willing today. Curry, you couldn't... I mean, they're undermanned. And they've got a bit of a ragtag side together with all the injuries, but you couldn't fault their effort today. They've really put themselves about. They've and had their chances as well. Made a few chances. As out it comes now, and there's a very good run there from Cody Brooks. Into dummy half goes Wyborn. Away to Campton. And they've got a bit of a roll on here all of a sudden. Campton looked to push the pass, might have remembered the example earlier in the game and thought better of it. Now the little kick from Cullen. And it's fielded very comfortably there by Walker, who can run and cause a bit of damage. And he comes back and he's weaving, but mostly going sideways.
If they want to get back in this...
Hang on, Shippard's gone down here. Shippard's gone down straight out of the tackle, which usually suggests he might have banged his head. They're getting some attention from the trainer.
He doesn't look... He looks in a world of hurt from here.
He does look pretty sore, doesn't he? There was nothing... From what we could see, there didn't appear to be anything illegal about it. Walker just brought it back, and Shippard came out of the tackle.
Kurri will enjoy this rest. They've been defending a lot this half.
They have.
And it's not ideal if you want to make a comeback from 24-6 down.
26 and a half minutes to go as the clock stops. Lachlan Shippard's being helped to his feet here. I suspect it might be a... I think it's either... Yeah, it looks like a lower leg injury, possibly an ankle or a knee, because he's being helped from the field by two trainers.
Because it's a Kurri player, it's an ankle injury, not a syndesmosis if it was West Newcastle.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to get the terminology.
Just old-fashioned injury.
Yeah, I'd never heard of syndesmosis until a couple of years ago. Now everybody's got them.
It's definitely the buzzword.
I think it's one of those things commentators say, oh, no, that'll be a syndesmosis.
If Kurri can play some simple football when they've got their hands on it, just don't think run, I think they can really get back into this contest. Well, the next 10 minutes are going to be interesting.
Now, there's going to be a sub here for Kurri.
While we've got the break in play, I think it's important to note that the Kurri Old Boys are major sponsor of the Bulldogs. They are holding a big day here, honouring the 1994 real NRL Grand Final winning side, which won 20-16 over Toronto Workers.
As I said to you in the first half, it's not a bad lurk for some of these blokes because they won the grand final. Of course, Kurri, they did the triple in 1993, 1994 and 1995, so they get 3 days in 3 separate years to celebrate each of their grand final achievements. So there'll be a few days we'll have 3 years in a row of Old Boys days with complimentary hospitality from the club. And, if you win 3 grand finals in a row, I guess you're entitled. Now, here's Rowan Kelly for Central. 24-6, 25 minutes to go. And Central can almost put it beyond Kurri with another try here. And there's Daniel French onto the field again, bringing it back strongly.
Yeah, they don't really look in the mood for a field goal.
No, that might be a knock-on. There's a strip there. Well, it hasn't been called anything. Copeland's picked it up and gone down.
5th and last here.
It looked like a knock-on, but anyway, away it comes to Taylor, then away to the left, and Cook, and an intercept from Birch. Oh, and he dived back theatrically on Lars' tackle, and it's been picked up there by Bowen.
6 again. That was very unlucky.
Yeah, it was brave from Birch. I mean, they are 18 points down, so he went for the intercept, juggled it, twisted himself around to try and get it, but didn't quite come off, and it means that Central have another set to come at them. With Rowan Kelly again. When he is on the field, he does a lot of work. Underwood spilled it again.
A silly error there.
Yeah, that can happen.
Noel Underwood there with the drop ball. We've got a bit of a niggle here.
Underwood's the second time he's dropped it. The first time he took it a bit too close to the line. It was sort of poor timing across the line, but that time he was inexplicably dropped it, which can happen when you're thinking about running it and you haven't caught it yet. But it means Kurri have a scrum. 30 metres out on the left-hand side of the field. And the bit of aggression's been tempered there by the officials. Well done.
Yeah, they've got an opportunity here. They've got to really take charge of this.
Well, maybe the scrum's the way to go. Maybe a bit of broken play. Maybe a bit of broken play is what they need. And it comes away now to the number 10, Hayden Jeans. And he's brought down. Now, no knock on there. That's fine. That's all right. And that's Gudgeon bringing it up. Into dummy half. Goes Wyborn. Jeans again. looked for the offload. Birch was there. Now they're looking to the left here, and they're lined all the way out, but very flat. Cullen. And
Driving
Brooks.
tackle there.
Yeah, good tackle. Very good tackle. It's Underwood. He's been a real menace today. Into dummy half is Delaney. They're going to try something here. Cullen goes straight up the middle. Looks for the pass, but he's tackled up high, and the ball comes out, and it'll be last tackle on a turnover. Again, you could see what he was trying to do there, but he needed to link up with those men that he had to the left. And they managed to ring fence him there and knock the ball out.
They're just not looking for repeat sets, Kurri. It's a bit disappointing. And Phil Williams will be disappointed with this as well, but you can't fault the effort from these guys.
Yeah,
They're really taking it to Central.
And we got a penalty, and this is drawing a bit of ire from the crowd. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure what that was for.
Looks like it was a bit of.
I mean, he sort
of
of
play play the ball.
Well, he swung him to the ground, but I mean, it is a contact sport. Lachlan Hill down here on the wing asked the question, what was that for? But I hope it wasn't for tackling too hard. We haven't got to that stage yet. Here's Daniel French up into the Kurri half of the field.
The two prop forwards there in the marker.
Yeah, the Central are looking to deploy the sword here. A lot of talk out in the back line here. It's starting to get a bit niggly on Central's left-hand side.
Underwood's got a bit of words here.
Yeah, and the 4, Allison, he's given it a bit of lip as well. As here comes the big 10, Rowan Kelly. And they're 20 metres out centre field. Here's Taylor. Out the back, there was a strong hit on him, and that's gone to ground.
And that's gone forward there.
That's Bowen.
Good let off for Kurri there.
Yeah, it was a bit high. You can understand why he dropped it, because he was flying onto it. They tried to put a very neat-looking backline move on, but it didn't come together quite as they'd hoped. And we'll have another scrum.
It's been a bit of the case with Central this year. They've looked sharp at times, and they've also had a lot of unforced errors. It's been win-loss, win-loss, win-loss.
I think it has. That the whole game's got a bit scrappy in the last few minutes. I don't know if it's the wet weather or Kurri trying to catch up or something, but it's just got a little bit scrappy. A lot of mistakes and a few penalties and not much sort of flow to the game at all. The reason I know that is I can recall myself saying we'll have a scrum about half a dozen times in the last couple of minutes. We've got another substitute here. This is number 8 for Central. They can't do it at the scrum though, so they're just waiting. I think it's Ryan Walker's come off by the looks. I'm just looking across the back line here. Oh no, he's at the base of the scrum, so it must be... I'm not sure who that is. There's somebody over... Oh, it's Underwood.
It's a charging run from Craig. He's got 3 people on him, and it's a penalty.
Wins the penalty. That's what it took to get him down now. There's a bit of stink on here, and Craig's swung away, and he's looking for a blue with Marlborough. Now, Underwood, as you said, had been part of this bit of griping over there, but he's off the field at the moment, so he can't be blamed.
Yeah, he's definitely like the pimple on a teenager, isn't he? Just there and niggling constantly.
So here we go. The ball boy places it correctly in accordance with NRL regulations as Peterkin brings it forward, and there's another penalty. It's getting a bit... This is all getting a bit ragged. Consecutive penalties. We're offside off the tap there. And now there's an attempt to hook it back in field. That would have been very brave.
Bumper was a bit fired up there.
He was,
it looks like
I think
he's
he might
lining
be
up
ready
for the
to go
run.
again. Why not? Why change a winning formula? Here he comes. Not quite off as big a run this time. Up to that 10. And he drags a few with him. That's a good charge.
He's got Jace Delaney in his face again.
He does. He's been busy, Delaney, hasn't he? He doesn't shirk it at all in the middle of the park. Out the back to Stevens. And there's the big 10, Hayden Jeans.
Yeah, that's
he's
what you
taken
want
it
from
plenty.
a hooker.
You do, that's right. They've got to be combative types. They see a lot of action. As it goes to the right to Stevens. He's playing ball player here. Out to Birch. An inside run. That's Tuiva. He's awfully close over there. Couple of metres infield.
Gee, he's been good today.
He's been terrific for a bloke that was listed to play reserve grade. Here's Birch and Stevens. And that looks like Daniel French. And he's up to the 30. The big prop, if it had been anyone else, they might have... there's a knock-on in there. They're going to get it back. They're going to get it back here. And the Kurri fans love it.
And Jay Stevens has been vindicated with that little knock-on. Daniel French coming up with the unforced error.
Jay Stevens all of a sudden was playing 5'8" there, and for the second time in 2 tackles he had to promote the ball. And French snaffled it, charged upfield, and then dropped it getting up too quickly. You see that a lot, players. The speed of the play of the ball is so important in the game now that you often see someone try and get up too quickly and fumble the ball.
Let's see if Kurri can capitalise on this pressure.
Well, here's Simon Craig again, barging at them. He looks so willing every time he runs the ball. He's got plenty of vigour about him. In fact, he's knocked off Chris Marlborough's headgear, so that says how hard he was charging. And he's now gone back to retrieve it.
Yeah,
I hope he's not going to try and strap that up while the tackles are going on. Surely they go his way. Here comes Wyborn. Out to Jeans. And he's going to dump this out the back to Wyborn again. Good hands. He's looking for Tanner. He goes out to Stevens. Stevens will step here and step again. And he's through. And he's 5 metres away. And still twisting and turning towards the line. They're right on here. They need to score here, Kurri.
They've got
19 minutes left.
They've got numbers on the left. They go right.
Wyborn to go himself. Oh, he's not going to score. He's going to be dragged back. 19 minutes to go, 18 points behind. It's getting into dangerous territory. They need to be putting points on. Here's Cullen. Out to Craig. He wisely let it bounce there rather than try and pick it up. Hill nearly comes out the other side. He does come out the other side. And then he's dragged down a metre out over the line on last tackle. He came spitting out of that tackle, and they've managed to drag him down. Here goes Wyborn, out the back to Cullen, needs something here. Grubber in behind the line, it's twisting, it's going to be kicked over the dead ball line and they'll have a dropout. Dear oh dear.
That's a good set there from Kurri, forcing the repeat set.
Was.
Haven't seen too much of that this year, but Mitch Cullen with a classy kick there.
I must say that was probably the best set they've put on close to the line. They put some good plays together there, and Lachlan Hill, I thought he was going to get across the line there. He comes spewing out of that tackle.
He was quite unlucky there, but kudos to the Central defence. They really matched up.
Yeah, they got across there well. And those are the sort of things they've been doing. There's now 18 minutes to go. Central 24, Kurri 6. And it's taken down there by Birch. And it needs to happen now for Kurri if it's going to happen. It needs to start now. And here's Toiva with another good run. This time he's got a bit more company. Baker's in there among others.
It looks like we've got Shane Baldwin in there on jumper number 19 for Kurri.
Is it Shane Baldwin? Yeah, okay. Out the back.
Played a tough game in the Kurri loss in reserves.
He did. I always wonder about those guys who can do that, who can play in reserve grade and then have a rest for an hour and come back in first grade. As that's dumped out the back there by Jeans.
Gudgeon's
now here's Gudgeon, and he threw a dummy, and he's thrown it out the back. They should bring this back. Oh, he's called 6 to go. It was knocked down. So Kurri can set up again. They're right in front of the old boys stand over there. And if that doesn't lift them, then nothing will. Here's Birch looking for Peterkin. But he submits to the tackle there. He didn't really had too many options and didn't pick any of them. Cullen's set up over on the left. Peterkin's with him. He goes out to Stevens. Craig back on the inside. Didn't have a lot to work with there. 10 metres out. Here's Tanner and Cullen. And still Cullen, and that's knocked down by Jeans. Are they going to call knock on? They are. They are. That's another chance. I mean, Cullen put it on there, but Jeans was a bit too close to the line. And in the wet weather, would have needed a fair bit of dexterity to take that one and get it moving.
Yeah, sometimes those sharp passes don't really come off in the wet, and they can put players under pressure. And Kurri they haven't been used to this year putting teams under pressure and really getting in their face on the line.
I must say, Central have probably done better under the conditions. They've plugged it into the corners, played it mostly up the middle, and only gone wide when they've sucked them in. So it's been a good, pretty smart effort from Central. And here's Ryan Walker, who's probably been man of the match. And dry weather or wet weather, he's hard to handle, and he comes up over the 20 here. He's probably been the best on the field so far. That's a solid tackle from Bumper Peterkin there. And penalty? No, knock on. Well,
got it.
I tell you what, they've had a bit of luck there, I think, because I think old Bumper Peterkin, the goal-kicking specialist, might have sunk his boot on that one as it came down.
Yeah.
I think he might have kicked it out.
202-game veteran here in first grade, you know.
You can come up with those wily plays, but I think Delaney was a bit unlucky. But anyway, it matters not, because Kurri have another chance.
I'll just give another special mention to the new Newcastle Rugby League Life members from Kurri: Mick Campton, Sean Collingwood and Justin Peterkin. 250
games in the real NRL at any level, and Tanner has been absolutely flattened there. He got absolutely belted by a couple in that tackle, and it doesn't reflect badly on him that it came out, because it was a really hard tackle, and the ball came spewing out, and Central now can work it away. It's another chance squandered, though, you'd have to say, from Kurri. They have had their chances in the second half. Here's Marlborough. Back inside. Oh, starting to get a bit willing over there. Nathan Dwyer. Dear, oh dear. There's a bit of bite in some of these tackles. Here's Underwood back on the field. You can see from this side of the ground, you can see a very proud wad of Vaseline in his hair. He's obviously had a bit of a cut. Now it comes to Baker. Into the nines, Delaney. He's got Marlborough one side, Underwood the other. He chooses the latter. And Underwood comes through, and then the ball spits out, and Kurri can have another go here. It's picked up by Taylor, who's going to run away, but they won't let that. They won't have that.
Still 15 minutes to go here at Kurri, 24-6 on the PRD nationwide scoreboard. It's, Kurri have a bit of work to do if they're going to get out of this one, and sadly I don't think it's going to happen. But
well,
you never say never.
Well, Matt, you obviously haven't been watching the Newcastle Knights lately. Because you've got to learn, after the last couple of weeks with the Knights, you can win from anywhere. 10 points in front, 2 minutes to go, no dramas. Nothing's impossible anymore.
That was one of the great Newcastle Knight comebacks in my books, I think.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Being a Melbourne Storm supporter, I didn't want it to happen.
I'm sorry about that.
So.
I didn't mean to bring. I know that's a sore point. As here's Simon Craig
charging.
Yeah, I reckon Nathan Dwyer's going to have a sore point right on his.
We've got a penalty here
on his chest there because he got the shoulder right there, and I tell you, Craig must be hard to handle because the amount of times he runs it and there's a penalty as the result suggests they must have to really wrestle with him to keep him down. 40 metres out, they can set up again here. Without meaning to rub salt in that wound about the Knights, the point I was making was that if they can win from there, 18 points behind with 10 minutes to go is a walk in the park. As here's Nathan Dwyer. No, it's not. That's Kurt Gudgeon.
Kurri are no stranger to fairy tale comebacks, especially last year when
absolutely.
They came from 30-6 down at this very ground to win 48-30.
Yeah, they reminded me a lot of that Parramatta side a few years ago who could win from anywhere and ended up charging home and making the 8 when Jarryd Hayne was on fire. Now, that might be a strip there, I think. No, it's a knock-on. As I said, the game is getting a bit scrappy, and Kurri just aren't quite putting enough plays together to build any pressure on Central. As you said, Matt, they're making life hard for themselves.
They definitely are. The conditions haven't helped, but still, you have to be accountable for when you're carrying that ball and if you're going to make an error. It's just a tough day at the office, I think, for them.
Well, it does often happen that when the weather's a factor, the smarter team wins. And I'd have to say, on balance, Central have been a bit smarter. Haven't tried as much of the flowery stuff. And there's a very solid charge and a very solid tackle. I think that's Daniel French. And that was really strong. And here they come. Central working it away. Up to the 30. Jared Kalecki playing it. They're looking for Taylor, but instead Delaney decides he'll go himself. He's been very busy in there, Delaney. He gets a bit of treatment here off Hayden Jeans, but he's been very busy in the middle of the park, as has this man, Ryan Walker, and he's up to halfway.
Central haven't been shy of just taking up the middle all day, and it's paid dividends for him as well, tiring
Taylor
out the Kurri forwards.
And that's a good kick. Might even be. It's the sort of kick you come up with when you're 18 points in front with 10 minutes to go in the rain, aren't you? Isn't it? Very smart football. Just pitched and spun over the sideline. Gives them nothing to work with. 10 metres out and they can start again. Kurri with 90 metres to go. And time running out. 11 minutes to go. And both sides pretty slow to the scrum.
It's been a bit of a muggy day today, and it's certainly enforced the mood of this game.
It has.
It's that two teams they've seemed very lethargic on the field. And here we go.
Yeah, well, there's your lethargy. Simon Craig there spilled it as he charged onto it. And so we're going to have another scrum.
Yeah,
but this time Central will be feeding it.
There from Simon.
Yeah, he's been very willing today, but it can happen, can't it? I mean, there's been a lot of players have made mistakes. I'd say there'd be more players who have dropped it than haven't over the course of the 69.5 minutes of this game so far. Simon Craig, he's been very robust in the way he's taken it forward all day. Certainly couldn't be blamed for the score at the moment. Here's another ludicrous scrum. Ball fed, pin balls out, and then goes back in.
As I said before, the 12-man hug.
Yeah.
definitely nothing doing.
Although I must say, if it's between that and the carry-on that happens in rugby union, here's Delaney.
Jace Delaney's just strolled over.
Well, that's the second time that's happened. I mean, when are they going to learn? He's they had the numbers set out to the left there. It was 2-on-2, but then they didn't bank on Delaney picking it up at the base of the scrum and strolling over. That's his second try today. Kurri have opened it up for him a couple of times. Someone must have had him in the double. And so Central now, 28-6 with 9.5 minutes to go.
I think that comeback door's just slammed shut.
I think so.
Very hard. Jace Delaney there with a nice touch. He's done that twice today, as you said.
He has. I don't know that the first one was off the scrum base, but it was the same story. He didn't have to dummy, didn't have to step, didn't have to do anything. My mention of the football double has reminded me that I haven't checked mine today. Home side 6, opposition 2. No, I don't think that's right. I don't think Blake Birch scored today, did he?
No, I think you've got it.
No, I think I've come second there. Chris Marlborough's going to take this kick.
The only time we're allowed to say Marlborough in a football coverage is when he's taking a conversion.
That's exactly right. Here he goes, lining it up.
Here to rub salt in the wound to make it 30-6.
Yep, it's there. 30-6. And so Central, they're on their way here. You'd have to think 30 points to 6 with 8 minutes to go. They're still alive in the finals, and unless Maitland have made up the deficit against South, Central will be into the finals. And well done to them too. They've had a good season. They've
certainly improved under new coach Matt Lantry.
Yeah, my word.
Came in from the Newcastle Knights, working in development roles and also as the VB New South Wales Cup assistant coach.
Any season where you go from out of the finals to into it is a good season, and I think that's where they're going to be, as this is a very good charge again. And I must say, I said it a few times, but the 15, 16 and 17 for Central, I know they've come off the bench, but Matt Baker, Nathan Dwyer and Cameron Copeland. Here's Copeland. They've been very, very good. And, of course, as I say that, he loses the ball. But it's a penalty. And he's marched him again. There's a bit of lip coming. It's getting a bit ragged out there for Kurri. Stare for the second time in the game.
That's poor discipline.
He's binned him. Hello. Justin Peterkin. Well, he must have said something on the way past. And Graham Stare.
And at the only ground in Newcastle where you'll get cheered for being binned.
Yes.
Justin Peterkin.
30-6 behind with 7 minutes to go. And he's binned him and he'll stroll up the tunnel.
And his afternoon's over. Kurri will finish the game with 12 men.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what he said to him, obviously, but Stare had enough. He's had a bit of... Sounds like he's had a bit of lip through the game, so... And now the ball's come out again, and this time they will call a knock-on. And Kurri will come away with it through Blake Birch.
If Kurri can get a roll on here and still put some respectability onto this scoreboard.
Oh, he's binned someone else. Hello. What's happened here? He's binned one of the Central players.
And it's
Underwood.
It's Underwood. He's at it again.
He's binned Noel Underwood. Well, he must have told them. He must have told them that anyone else who gives it any chat is going to sit down. And so Peterkin and Underwood have gone. Now he's called someone out.
So it's 12 aside here. He's
called out the captain, I think. So there's Delaney who's been called out. They're not going to bin him too, is he?
And we've got Wyborn here.
And he's calling in the lineswoman. Kylie Aylett. She goes back to the touchline. She's going to report something to the referee's official, I think. And the world continues to turn. Well, that was all a bit comedy capers, wasn't it? I've never seen a player sin binned who wasn't involved in the play. But away come Kurri.
It wasn't a bad option. There was going to be a penalty either way because Central were a mile offside as well.
So Gudgeon away to Birch. And now here's Hayden Jeans. He's been good today. Very keen. And here's Birch again. Stepping, weaving. Can't get there. He's a couple of metres away. Delaney, he's got Cullen on the left. And Jeans on the right. He goes to Cullen. Tanner's out the back, but it goes to Brooks. And that's gone forward. It's gone forward from Mitch Cullen. Yeah,
It's that sort of afternoon for Kurri.
it has
isn't
been rather. They've had enough chances to be right in the game. You know, they've 3 or 4 times they could have put tries on. They were right there, but the passes haven't stuck. They've played a bit of chuck it around football, and it hasn't quite worked in the weather.
I think they'll take some positives out of this game. Definitely matching up at the start of the game, but you have to play for 80 minutes. Unfortunately, it hasn't cost them their season.
I think the way the last couple of minutes have gone, I think both sides would be pretty keen to get to the finish here before they do themselves any more damage, because if they keep having people sent off for gobbing at the referee, could see some suspensions, which certainly Central won't want going into the finals. As away they come, here's Kalecki, who's got through his work well today. Both back threes have helped the forwards out a fair bit. And it's a very strong tackle from Ben Wyborn. He's been all over everything today. And Delaney has been as well. The hookers have been so important to both teams. You'd have to say Delaney shaded it with 2 tries, though. Now here's Baker. I don't think Baker's come off since he came on after about the 20-minute mark. I think he's been there for the duration. Been a very strong effort.
Big 80-minute effort there.
Now here's Delaney.
Here's the kick.
Taylor, left-footed. And there's Tanner. Oh, does that come off his hands? They're going to say it came off his knee. Okay.
I think he was pretty lucky there, Shannon
think he
Tanner.
might have been. It all was in a bit slow motion, wasn't it? It seemed for all money like he'd come off his hand, but anyway. Here's Lachlan Hill, had a juggle, did well. I must say, fair play to him. 4 minutes from time. He's had a few cloutings today, but he was keen to take it up again. No fear. And now here's Shannon Tanner, who's
he's taken up a lot of the workload.
He has been good
half,
at fullback.
hasn't he?
Yeah, he hasn't. Fullback can be a difficult position. Now
Cullen
here's
with
Mitch
the chip
Cullen,
kick.
and here's Simon Craig. He's
walking
steaming onto it
through.
like a
He's
bus.
picked it up.
Oh! And he's managed to make a tackle while falling over. But up gets Walker. He was coming like a bus there, Simon Craig.
And a bit of a voluntary tackle here.
No, I don't think it's a voluntary tackle. I think it's an injury. I think he's... I don't know what's happened here, because Simon Craig's down behind the line, and Ryan Walker has gone down with what I thought at first might... You know when you see players running and they look like they've been shot from the grandstand, it might be a hamstring injury, but this might just be cramp. This is what they do for people who have cramp, so... Goodness knows what's going on here.
And I've never seen that before the tackle was being completed.
No, not for cramp, no. I've seen it with hamstrings or a knee or something. They just go down so they don't get tackled, but never seen it with cramp. Be interested to see if he gets up and plays on here.
Seems to be quite a slide on the game of rugby league. The voluntary tackle that disappeared since the National Rugby League is formed back up in 1998. It just seems
you don't
to be
you don't see it penalised very often.
But Travis Waddell certainly penalised the Knights for it last week, 30 to 20 down.
He did, and he's still stretching behind the line, Walker, but he's going to continue, and that's Copeland with the ball now. Marlborough looked like it was going to Baker. Marlborough, that's a voluntary tackle for a different reason. He knew that was going to be a shepherd, so he went down, and that tends to, if there's a shepherd happens, the voluntary tackle sort of gets them back in the referee's graces. Here's Baker, 30 metres out centre field. Dummy half is Delaney to Marlborough. Field goal.
He's field goal.
No, he hasn't.
It's
waved
that's no away.
Good. That's to the right. 2.5 minutes to go. You never know with for and against. Another point might do them good.
I think you got a bit greedy there.
Well, it never hurts to practice, though, because if they're going to finish 5th or 4th, they'll be in an elimination final. So it never hurts to practice the field goal. And here's Hayden Jeans. He's been very keen all day, and he's saved his best run for 2.5 minutes before time, and he got it away to Tanner. He saved his best work for the end of the game. Hayden Jeans, he's been good all day, though.
And there's no fullback here for Central. Kurri could really do some damage if they take a chance.
Walker's only staggering back, and he's got cramp, but I think they've spilt that through Cody Brooks. And 2 minutes ago, although he's given him a bit of a spray as well, manages to stay on the field. 1 minute and 50 seconds to go here. Central 30, Kurri 6. And Central have done themselves a favour here with Maitland and South playing elsewhere.
Still waiting to find the score out on that one.
Yeah, we are.
If Maitland have gone down, you could comfortably say that's their season over. Well, you can.
Well, you can mathematically. You can say it. That's right. It'll be all over because Cessnock are on 19. They've got the bye. Will go to 21, and Maitland have been beaten 22-10 by South. So that means that the 5 teams that make the finals will be Wests, Macquarie, Central, Cessnock, against all odds, and South Newcastle. Now, here's a kick.
And he looks
down
a
to the
mile
wing.
offside.
He
He's
was a
been
mile
called,
offside, and he knows it.
But the number
Walker's
6,
not, and Walker's going to get there first, I think, here. And if he kicks it, he's fallen on it. I think it's a try.
the subdue from the Kurri defenders.
I thought
would
the 14
show that it's
might have got
probably
his
a
hand
try.
on it there
Yes.
for Kurri, but he hasn't. And Ryan Walker's been given a try. Now, I don't know about that, I've got to say, because for me, Kalecki was knowingly offside, and I think he came within the 10 there. I know he slowed up and tried not to get involved with the play, but I think Kurri are a bit unlucky there because they all stopped to look at Kalecki thinking to be blown up for a penalty, and then all of a sudden Walker was coming through like a bullet.
I think technically too, if he was 10 metres inside to that try, it should have been still disallowed.
Yeah, you would think. But
If
anyway,
we're going off National Rugby League rules.
But one of the great things about this competition is there's no video referee to make everything legalistic. So it's just the decision's made, we all move on, and the world keeps on turning. And Chris Marlborough's going to take this kick from the sideline with 4 seconds to go in the game. This will be the last act. Central are in the semi-finals. They might not know it yet, but they are.
And if he kicks this, it'll be an identical scoreline to the start of the season when Central accounted for Kurri 36-6 at St John
Indeed.
Oval.
That's a great piece of statistical insight there. I didn't even think of that.
Nice piece of symmetry.
It is.
Not so much for
here
Kurri.
comes- No. Here comes Marlborough. It's a good kick. Oh, no. It's away to the left. So that'll be it. That'll be the lot. 34-6. Central have beaten Kurri here. They're going to the finals. So is Cessnock, because Maitland have lost at South Newcastle. But Kurri, they were willing. They toiled away at the game. They didn't do too much wrong, but they just couldn't quite stick a couple of plays at the end there in the second half. And whilst you couldn't necessarily blame them for their season or for this defeat today, they'll still be disappointed not to have done the job for the old boys. But I suspect they might have had a good day anyway. Matt, your final thoughts?
It's just an unlucky game for Kurri. They just didn't match up just before half-time. They really let the game slip away, I think, with those 2 quick tries to make it 18-6 before half-time. And they've just been, unfortunately, outclassed in a messy game in the wet.
Yeah, it was a messy game, but Central did better with the weather.
Full credit to Central, though.
Yeah.
They've played well and they've played themselves into the finals. And
My word, they played a little bit smarter. They plugged the corners, worked it up the middle. Their forwards were very good today, especially the men that came off the bench. And they're deserved winners today. Good value for a 34-6 win. Final score here at Kurri, pardon me. Central 34, Kurri 6. I've been Morgan Campbell. Matt Petherbridge has been alongside me. Thank you very much for your company as always. This is Bar TV.